You see, these aliens come from outer space, and they want to make us slaves in their theme park.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel. If this is your first time, this is a science fiction video celebrating science fiction classics, if you like, concentrating on a particular publisher and imprint. But also, first off, I want to give a shout out to 5 booktubers that concentrate on science fiction, and they all know each other. They do videos on each other's channels, and they are really, really good. Definitely recommend them. And some of them have been on my channel as well, but I wanted to just highlight these 5 people because I think they're absolutely brilliant booktubers, and they really do sell science fiction really well and positively on their channels. And not everybody does. Some people are really quite negative on their channels, and also I don't know, some just, I don't know, are a bit off. But these guys are just brilliant, and they're really entertaining and just awesome. So Jack from Sci-fi Finds, Jake from Pulp Mortem, Richard from Vintage SF, Ira from SF Words of Wonder, and Chris from Liminal Spaces. I'll link their channels below, but I just think they are fantastic booktubers. So it was this is a nice opportunity to do that. Those 5, but there's tons of people that talk about science fiction. I talk about science fiction a lot. There's lots of my friends on Booktube that talk about science fiction a lot that I haven't mentioned. And there's others that, you know, if you have a good delve, you're like, oh, there's another one, there's loads. But those 5, I think, I wanted to highlight them. I think they're brilliant. So they've been doing a Show Us Your Doors series of videos where they've been talking about the door imprint, DAW, in the corner of the books. It's an old vintage imprint, and I've got some, but I'm going to do this instead because I've got so many Galant's SF Masterworks books. I thought I'd talk about Galant's for a bit. So yeah, I just think it'd be really interesting, and please let me know which books you have read. I've read a lot of these, but I haven't read all of them, and also there's some I haven't got anymore. So I have got my Hyperion, but it's up in the loft, and I can't be bothered to get it. But Hyperion, my copy of that is in this imprint. I haven't got my copy of Ringworld anymore because I didn't like it, so I got rid of it. And somewhere is my version of I Am Legend on the Galant's SF Masterworks series, but for some reason I can't find it. I've found all my other versions of I Am Legend, but I haven't found that. So that's a bit weird. But let's talk about Galant's, and let's talk about SF Masterworks. So first off, I've got some random Galant's ones here. These 2 here, 2 Robert Silverberg books. I've got Son of Man and Tower of Glass. So Son of Man, I remember finding that somewhere. So I found it in a second-hand bookstore down the road from me. So that was a real nice find. But this one, I know this was sent to me by Dave Brzezinski. So thanks, Dave. So yeah, the old Galant's series before the SF Masterworks imprint. So Tower of Glass and Son of Man, both books I haven't read. So I've read some Robert Silverberg. I've talked about Robert Silverberg on the channel, but I haven't read these 2, Tower of Glass and Son of Man. I think Son of Man's supposed to be really good. I don't know much about Tower of Glass. Let me know what you think of those books. But yeah, that's not really in the SF Masterworks series. Also, not quite the SF Masterworks series, but a series of books where they were highlighting particular books. I have got a version of I Am Legend that's part of the 50th anniversary. And I don't really like this version. It's a bit boring, but I think they were trying to make it stark and immediate. I don't know, but I think it's a bit boring. So yeah, I have got this version of I Am Legend. It's one of my 5 versions of I Am Legend, but this is a bunch of books they put out on the 50th anniversary of their publishing company. So Galant's are owned by Orion Publishing, by the way. I didn't say that, did I? It's part of the Orion group. So yeah, this is a version that's before the SF Masterworks. And the SF Masterworks series has gone through a period of change. And there's actually a 3rd design that I don't think I've got any copies of the 3rd design. It's weird because when I was getting all this together, I've got so many books in different places that I know that I left some out. So for example, I know I've got Where Late the Sweet Birds Sing by Kate Wilhelm on this black imprint. So I know I've got that, but I couldn't find it. But I have got 2 copies of The Shrinking Man, Richard Matheson, in that imprint, the black older SF Masterworks series. I've actually got 2, and it's weird because this isn't quite as good quality condition. This is really good condition, but I've got this bloody sticker there that does my head in. I've been trying to get it off. So there are clever ways of doing that, and I need to put some time into actually doing it with... I'll look up some advice about how to get rid of it. But yeah, then when I get rid of that, this will be better condition than that. But in the meantime, I've got 2 versions of The Shrinking Man, which is a book I love a lot. A lot. So those are the ones, those 2 and the Kate Wilhelm book are the ones I definitely have got in the black version. But I've got tons of these yellow ones. So they look really cool on the spines, like in the bookshelves. But there's quite a lot here, so let's just go through them. I've got a bunch of Ursula K. Le Guin ones here. So my first Ursula K. Le Guin books were this imprint. I've got loads of others now, and then whenever I see them, I get them, and I've got the big box set and all that sort of stuff. But I've got The Dispossessed here, which is my favourite Ursula K. Le Guin book. And I've got Left Hand of Darkness, which is her most celebrated one. The Word for World is Forest, which was my first Ursula K. Le Guin book, and I was smitten straight away. So The Word for World is Forest. And Worlds of Exile and Illusion. So this is an omnibus thing. So this is actually the first 3, which we'll be tackling on our Hainish cycle run from January next year. Worlds of Exile and Illusion. So that includes Buchanan's World, Planet of Exile, and City of Illusions. So there's those. Always Coming Home. So I know this is an interesting one because it's different types of text, different types of prose which kind of like come together to create this community. So Always Coming Home. There's a big chunk of that one as well. And The Lathe of Heaven, which is brilliant. I love that. It's a really, really good book. The Lathe of Heaven, slightly different to a lot of her others, I think. But it's a brilliant book and part of the Hainish cycle. So those are the Ursula K. Le Guin ones. I've got a couple of Robert Silverberg ones that are in this yellow spine ones, which is Needle in the Time Stack, which I mentioned before on one of my time travel videos, and A Time of Changes. I haven't read that one, so I don't know what it's like, but Time of Changes and Needle in a Time Stack, 2 Robert Silverberg books. I've got a fantastic collection of short stories. R.A. Lafferty, the best of R.A. Lafferty. I definitely recommend this. This is often in Waterstones, by the way, if you ever are in the area. This is such a good book. So he's a really interesting short story writer. It's the best of R.A. Lafferty. Got that one. Really, really good. Really, really good. There's 2 of my favourite science fiction books here by Alfred Bester, The Demolished Man and Stars My Destination, or Tiger Tiger is another name for it. But I love these 2 books. These 2 books are 2 of my favourite science fiction books. Absolutely love them. Another one I love is The Forever War by Joe Haldeman. Got that one. I love that cover, actually. I really genuinely think that cover's brilliant. And yeah, I really love this book. And got 2 Connie Willis books. So I've got other books by her from other publishers, but Doomsday Book is brilliant. One of my favourite time travel books. Bit of a chunker. They go back to the Great Plague, the Black Death, and she can't really come back. It's just really interesting. I won't spoil it, but yeah, it's really, really good. And then there's a sequel to it, which is apparently a lot funnier, which wouldn't be hard, which I was going to buddy read with Mark from Book Time with Elvis. I don't know if he still wants to. I'll have to catch up with him. But To Say Nothing of the Dog is the one that followed Doomsday Book. So I've got that as well. Again, that's quite a big one. So, yeah, there's that one. I love the floppiness of these books. It's awesome. Awesome. Some H.G. Wells books. So I've got 3 H.G. Wells ones in this imprint. The Time Machine, absolute classic for all sorts of reasons. The Island of Dr. Moreau, which is my favourite H.G. Wells book. And The Invisible Man, which was the first one I ever read. And I read that when I was like 14 or something. Absolutely love that book. So The Invisible Man. I've got another one that I love, The Body Snatchers, Jack Finney. If you haven't read this, definitely recommend it. Good one to read for Halloween. But yeah, The Body Snatchers is a brilliant book. So there's that one. And I've got 3 here that I haven't read. 3 here that I haven't read. 3 very famous classics that I haven't read. So I still haven't read Earth Abides by George R. Stewart. I need to read this. I'm kind of aware that it's probably quite bleak and slow, so I've got to be in the right frame of mind. But I do want to read that one. So Earth Abides is supposed to be amazing. Haven't read it yet. And Revelation Space by Alistair Reynolds. This is one I'd like to buddy read with somebody, actually. So that's on my radar, probably early 2026. But let me know if you want to read this. It's I've kept it in perfect condition, but I've had this for years. It's been on my shelf over there, so it's very protected. But Revelation Space is one I need to read. I've read about 4 other Alistair Reynolds books, but this is the big one, isn't it? So I need to read this. Let me know if you want to buddy read that. And Rendezvous with Rama is one I've almost read a few times, and I'm going to read this very soon. This is my intention to read this before the end of the year. So hopefully in November or December, I'll read Rendezvous with Rama. I like Childhood's End a lot, which I think is also in the series, but I absolutely love Childhood's End. I've got like an old vintage Corgi one, I think, something like that, of Childhood's End. But that's brilliant. Another, I'm going to group a few together here. Another one that I thought was brilliant, which I know Jack from Sci-Fi Finds didn't like this one. We had a little bit of a chat on his channel about it. So Paul Anson's Tau Zero. I really like that. I thought it was really good. And this turned me on to Paul Anson in general. And I've read others by him, and I really like him as a writer. And I've got others. I've got quite a lot of his books to read. But yeah, I really like Paul Anson. And let's go through me Philip K. Dick in this series. I've got tons of other vintage Philip K. Dick with crazy covers, but this is the ones. These are the 4 that I've got in this series. So there's a Scanner Darkly, which is brilliant and completely mad, but really good one. And Time Out of Joint, which I didn't like that much when I read it, to be fair. It was all right. I might reread it because it might have been me, but didn't like it much. But Time Out of Joint and Martian Time Slip, which is really good. I like that one. That's much better. And then the infamous classic Do Andor's Dream of Electric Sheep, which is very different from the film. So if you feel like, oh, I won't read that because I've seen the film, it's very, very different. So it's definitely worth reading, but it's not like Blade Runner at all. Well, I say at all. There are clearly links, but it is a different experience. So Do Andor's Dream of Electric Sheep is the other Philip K. Dick one I've got. And got 2 Shagatsky Brothers ones here, which I've actually got Roadside Picnic in this edition as well. So yeah, I have definitely got my version of Roadside Picnic, which I'll never get rid of because I love it. That's a good point. I think I know where these ones are. Never mind, I won't get it. But the Roadside Picnic book is in my favourite books box. So I've got that by them, but I've also got the Snail on the Slope, which I haven't read. Snail on the Slope, and Monday Starts on Saturday, which again I haven't read. So I'd like to read those as well. Oh, and The Inhabited Island. There's another one by them, but I haven't read. So another one I need to read. And then just to finish off, an absolute revelation to me when I read this last year, or was it earlier this year? I can't remember if it was last year or this year. but I absolutely loved it. I know it would have been this year because I read it for the Ben Reads Good Challenge because it had 15 letters in the title. My first Lee Brackett book, The Long Tomorrow, absolutely brilliant book. Really, really brilliant. Couldn't recommend it enough. So that's definitely a really good one from this series. So I haven't always liked the series. So there's others I've read in the series. So I didn't like... Oh, what else didn't I like? Is there like a list in the series? There's a few that I've read but I just didn't like. I should have written that down. There's probably about 5 that I've read that I didn't like, that I just got rid of, and I had them. I didn't like Limbo, Bernard Wolfe. I didn't like William Tenn's book called Of Men and Mice, I think it's called. Didn't like that one. And like I said, I didn't like Ringworld. So there has been a few that I didn't like, and I just got rid of them. But these are either, the ones I've shown are either books I absolutely love or books that I haven't read yet. So there's not that many in that list I haven't read, is there? So that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's a really interesting series, and you can always have a little delve and see that, you know, a lot of them won awards, and a lot of them are kind of seminal works for those authors, and they're really important authors. There are some really weird omissions, but, you know, that's for another video maybe. But yeah, there's my SF Masterworks collection, bouncing off the Door series of videos that these awesome booktubers are doing. Check out those other booktubers. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Let me know below which books you've read in that series, and how cool is science fiction, eh? Stay curious, everybody.
Paint me a picture